Before most of the modern world, Japan is remembered for its peace, a nation of discipline, technology, and restraint. But history remembers another Japan. A Japan that once terrified empires, commanded oceans, and reshaped Asia with its steel and resolve. The Empire of Japan, once the most formidable military power in the Pacific, was crushed in 1945. Its fleet sunk. Its cities burned. Its will broken by atomic fire. In the aftermath, Japan renounced war forever. Its new constitution, written under Allied occupation, contained Article 9, a clause declaring that the Japanese people forever renounce war as a sovereign right. The world believed Japan would never again raise an army. But they underestimated one thing: Japan's ability to adapt. Today, beneath the surface of pacifism, Japan has quietly built one of the most advanced, capable, and resilient military forces on Earth. A power that doesn't seek conquest, but commands respect. And as the Indo-Pacific grows more volatile, with China's rise, North Korea's missiles, and shifting alliances, Japan's military is stepping out of the shadows. This is Doctrine of War, and you're watching part 1 of the power of the Japanese military, the return of the rising sun. Before we dive in, if you value deep, cinematic explorations into global military power, strategy, and history, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to Doctrine of War. Your support allows us to keep producing these in-depth stories that connect the past, the present, and the future of warfare. Now, let's uncover how Japan, the nation that swore never to fight again, became one of the most quietly formidable powers of the modern age. From defeat to defense, the birth of the self-defense forces. Japan's military rebirth didn't begin with a declaration, it began with a dilemma. In the ashes of World War II, Japan was occupied, disarmed, and traumatized. Its people were tired of war. Its economy was shattered. Its military identity erased. But the world was changing fast. By the early 1950s, the Cold War was in full swing. The Korean Peninsula exploded into conflict, and American forces that had been stationed in Japan were suddenly fighting across the sea. Washington realized a dangerous truth: Japan had no army, no navy, and no means to defend itself if communism spread. And so, in 1954, the Japan Self-Defense Forces, JSDF, were born. Not a military, at least not in name, but in every practical sense, a national defense force. Its mission: protect Japan's sovereignty, maintain peace, and operate strictly under a defensive doctrine. At first, the JSDF was small, under-equipped, and politically controversial. Many Japanese viewed it as a betrayal of pacifism. But the United States saw it differently, as a shield for the Western Pacific. Through the U.S. Japan Security Treaty, America pledged to defend Japan, while Japan agreed to host U.S. bases, creating one of the most important military alliances in modern history. The JSDF began to grow, slowly, carefully, but purposefully. It built its doctrine around one principle: defensive excellence. If Japan could not legally wage war, then it would master the art of deterrence. And over time, deterrence became innovation. The JSDF focused on precision, mobility, and resilience, not to conquer, but to ensure that any enemy thinking of attacking Japan would face consequences too severe to bear. This philosophy became Japan's silent armor, a shield forged not through aggression, but through inevitability. The three branches: land, sea, and air. The Japan Self-Defense Forces evolved into three distinct branches, each one refined for a specific domain, each one world-class in its own right. Let's start with the Japan Ground Self-Defense Force, JGSDF. Unlike most armies, it's not built for invasion or foreign deployment. Its focus is defense of the homeland, a complex archipelago stretching over 6,800 islands. But that doesn't mean it's passive. The JGSDF operates advanced armor like the Type 10 main battle tank, one of the most sophisticated in Asia, designed for speed and precision on Japan's mountainous terrain. It uses modernized artillery systems, mobile missile units, and elite rapid deployment brigades trained for amphibious defense, especially on Japan's remote southern islands near Taiwan and the East China Sea. In 2018, Japan officially established its Amphibious Rapid Deployment Brigade, often called Japan's Marine Corps. This was a turning point. For decades, Japan had avoided any force that looked like an expeditionary unit. But growing Chinese naval activity around the Senkaku Islands forced Tokyo to change its thinking. The Amphibious Brigade trains with U.S. Marines and uses equipment like the AAV-7 Amphibious Assault Vehicle and V-22 Osprey tilt-rotor aircraft, giving Japan the ability to respond swiftly to island incursions or emergencies. Then comes the Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force, JMSDF. arguably the jewel of Japan's military. Because Japan is an island nation, the sea is both its lifeline and its first line of defense. The JMSDF operates one of the world's most advanced fleets, highly integrated, disciplined, and technologically superior. Its destroyers are built around the Aegis combat system, the same system used by the US Navy, capable of intercepting ballistic missiles and tracking hundreds of targets simultaneously. The Kongo, Atago, and Maya-class destroyers are floating fortresses, part of Japan's multi-layered missile defense shield. They patrol alongside US carrier groups, share intelligence in real time, and form the backbone of regional security. Japan also operates the Izumo-class helicopter carriers, two massive ships that were originally designed for anti-submarine warfare, but have since been refitted to carry F-35B Lightning II stealth fighters. In effect, Japan now possesses small aircraft carriers, a capability it hasn't had since World War II. But unlike their predecessors, these ships exist not for conquest, but for deterrence and rapid response. Below the waves, the JMSDF operates the Soryu and Taigei-class submarines, some of the quietest diesel-electric submarines in the world, equipped with air-independent propulsion. In modern naval warfare, silence is survival, and Japan's submarines are masters of it. Finally, there's the Japan Air Self-Defense Force (JSDF). Born out of post-war necessity, it has evolved into one of the most advanced air forces on the planet. Japan flies over 200 F-15J fighters, upgraded with state-of-the-art radar and electronic warfare systems, and has begun deploying F-35A stealth jets, giving it fifth-generation capability. Its radar network, the JADGE system, Japan Aerospace Defense Ground Environment, links satellites, ships, and aircraft into one synchronized defense web. In a potential conflict, Japan's air defense grid can detect and respond to ballistic missiles or air incursions in seconds. Together, these three branches form a triad, one that doesn't seek to project power globally, but to create absolute deterrence regionally. Each one complements the other. The sea shields the islands, the air covers the sea, and the land ensures sovereignty. And in an age where threats can come from anywhere, that integration is what keeps Japan safe. Technology, strategy, and restraint, the Japanese way of war. Japan's military philosophy is unique. It's a paradox, a nation that forbids war, yet prepares for it meticulously. A country that builds weapons it prays never to use. But beneath that restraint lies strategy, a deep understanding of how to win without fighting. Every weapon system, every exercise, every alliance is designed around a single concept: credible deterrence through readiness. Unlike other nations that flaunt their power, Japan hides it in plain sight. Its technology rivals, and often surpasses, that of its allies. Japanese defense companies like Mitsubishi Heavy Industries, Kawasaki, and IHI produce advanced systems ranging from stealth fighters and submarines to precision radar and missile interceptors. Its ballistic missile defense network, co-developed with the United States, layers space-based sensors, Aegis destroyers, and land-based interceptors like the PAC-3 and SM-3 Block IIA. Together, they form one of the most advanced anti-missile umbrellas in the world, a necessity given North Korea's repeated missile launches over Japanese airspace. But Japan's greatest weapon isn't its hardware. It's its discipline. Every member of the JSDF trains with the precision of a surgeon. Joint drills with US, Australian, and British forces, under frameworks like Quad cooperation and RIMPAC exercises, ensure interoperability with Western militaries at the highest level. In these exercises, Japan often plays the role of coordinator. Its officers train not only as soldiers but as diplomats of strategy. Even Japan's defense spending, long capped at around 1% of GDP, is now changing. In 2022, Tokyo announced a plan to double its defense budget by 2027, marking its largest military expansion since World War II. It will develop long-range strike missiles, including domestically produced versions of the Type 12 and US-made Tomahawks, allowing it to hit targets thousands of kilometers away. This is historic. For decades, Japan's military was restricted to defending within its borders. Now it's preparing for counterstrike capabilities, not to start wars but to ensure it can end them before they begin. It's a transformation that signals a new era, one where Japan steps out from the shadow of pacifism, not by rejecting it but by redefining it. Because for Japan, peace is not the absence of power, it's the mastery of it. The alliance network, America's unshakable anchor. At the heart of Japan's modern power lies an alliance, one that has endured for over 7 decades, the U.S. Japan Security Alliance. It's more than a treaty. It's a fusion of two doctrines, American projection and Japanese precision. Under this alliance, the U.S. pledges to defend Japan, including its remote territories, while Japan provides critical bases and infrastructure that enable American operations across the Pacific. This arrangement gives both sides something they can't achieve alone. For the U.S., Japan serves as the forward shield of democracy in East Asia, home to over 50,000 American troops, spread across Okinawa, Yokosuka, Misawa, and other bases. For Japan, the alliance provides a nuclear umbrella and strategic depth, deterrence that extends far beyond its borders. But what makes this partnership extraordinary is how it has evolved. For decades, Japan played the role of supporter, providing logistics, intelligence, and economic aid while avoiding combat. Today, that dynamic is changing. In the 21st century, Japan is no longer content to be the junior partner. The JSDF now trains, plans, and operates alongside U.S. forces as an equal participant. Their forces share integrated command structures, conduct joint missile defense operations, and coordinate real-time targeting data. The JMSDF's Aegis destroyers patrol with U.S. carrier groups. Japanese F-35s and American F-22s fly joint air patrols. And Japanese satellites feed intelligence directly into U.S. Indo-Pacific Command. This partnership isn't just military, it's architectural. Together, the U.S. and Japan are building the Indo-Pacific security architecture, a system of alliances designed to counterbalance China's rise. That includes cooperation with Australia, South Korea, India, and even European powers like Britain and France, which now regularly deploy warships to the Pacific. Japan's leadership in this emerging coalition has been quiet, but decisive. It was Tokyo that championed the free and open Indo-Pacific (FOIP) strategy, a vision that unites democracies in protecting sea lanes, upholding sovereignty, and resisting coercion. It was also Japan that helped revive the Quad, the Quadrilateral Security Dialogue, bringing together the US, India, Australia, and Japan into a strategic forum that many call the Asian NATO. Through these alliances, Japan has become more than just a participant in the US-led order. It has become the anchor, the constant in an increasingly uncertain sea. But Japan's partnerships extend beyond politics. They are deeply woven into its technology, industry, and defense ecosystem, ensuring that the weapons it builds, the ships it sails, and the planes it flies are interoperable with those of its allies. This interoperability isn't symbolic, it's strategic. In any future conflict, Japan's forces could fight seamlessly alongside US, Australian, or South Korean units, sharing intelligence, fuel, and firepower in real time. That level of coordination makes deterrence far stronger than the sum of its parts. And yet, as alliances grow, so does responsibility. For the first time since the end of World War II, Japan is preparing not just to defend its home, but to defend the entire region. The shift in doctrine, from defense to deterrence. For decades, Japan's national policy was guided by one principle: never fight abroad. Every law, every military exercise, and every deployment was measured against Article 9, the constitutional clause that renounced war. But the 21st century changed everything. China's navy began to expand at a speed unseen in modern history. North Korea tested nuclear warheads and fired missiles directly over Japan. And Russia's invasion of Ukraine reminded the world that peace cannot be assumed. Suddenly, Japan's pacifism began to look less like idealism, and more like vulnerability. In 2015, Tokyo took a historic step. For the first time, Japan reinterpreted Article 9 to allow for collective self-defense. This meant that Japan could use military force not only when directly attacked, but when an ally was under threat. In practical terms, Japan could now fight alongside the United States. The change was subtle in words but seismic in meaning. It marked the end of post-war passivity and the beginning of what analysts call proactive pacifism. Under this doctrine, Japan remains committed to peace, but peace through strength. It invests heavily in deterrence, building capabilities to strike back if attacked. By 2023, Tokyo announced its most ambitious defense plan in generations, a national security strategy that explicitly named China, North Korea, and Russia as threats to regional stability. And for the first time, Japan declared it would acquire counterstrike capabilities, long-range missiles capable of hitting enemy bases preemptively if a threat was imminent. This shift doesn't mean Japan is abandoning its defensive posture. It means it's redefining it for an era where threats don't wait for permission. Japan is developing and deploying the upgraded Type 12 surface-to-ship missile, extending its range from 200 kilometers to over 1,000. It's purchasing 400 US-made Tomahawk cruise missiles, giving it the ability to respond swiftly and precisely to aggression. The logic is simple: deterrence through denial. If an adversary knows that striking Japan could invite immediate retaliation, even from afar, the cost becomes too high. And in a region where flashpoints like Taiwan or the Senkaku Islands could ignite conflict, this shift in doctrine is Japan's insurance policy. But beyond weapons, Japan's transformation is strategic. It's about posture, geography, and readiness. The JSDF has restructured its forces to defend its southwestern islands, positioning radar bases, missile batteries, and mobile brigades across the Ryukyu chain, stretching toward Taiwan. This line, barely 100 kilometers from the Chinese mainland, is the front edge of deterrence in the Pacific. If conflict ever erupts over Taiwan, Japan's territory could become the battlefield's doorstep. And Japan is making sure it's prepared. The Indo-Pacific pivot, a new role for a new era. As Japan's military doctrine evolves, so too does its identity. For decades, Japan defined itself as a peace state. Now it is becoming something more profound: a stability state, a nation whose power preserves balance in a region teetering between peace and confrontation. Its geography gives it leverage. To the east, Japan faces the open Pacific. To the west, the world's busiest trade routes through the East and South China Seas. Every ship sailing from the Persian Gulf to China, Korea, or the US passes through waters under Japan's surveillance. This geography makes Japan the gatekeeper of global commerce, and its navy the guardian of maritime freedom. Through partnerships like ASEAN, the Quad, and Pacific Island Outreach, Japan is expanding its soft and hard presence simultaneously. It trains coast guards, donates patrol ships, and conducts joint drills with nations like the Philippines and Vietnam, countries that share its concern over Chinese maritime expansion. Meanwhile, the JMSDF regularly sails through the South China Sea, the Indian Ocean, and even the Mediterranean, projecting Japan's influence globally while maintaining an image of cooperation, not confrontation. Japan's defense industry is also awakening. After decades of restriction, Tokyo is easing its arms export policies, allowing defense partnerships with nations like the UK and Italy. The Global Combat Air Program, GCAP, a joint project to develop a sixth-generation stealth fighter, is a historic leap forward. It combines Japanese precision engineering with European aerospace expertise, creating a new fighter that could rival any in the world by the 2030s. This isn't just about weapons, it's about independence. Japan is slowly building the capacity to defend itself, deter adversaries, and even project power without total reliance on the US. In essence, Japan is no longer a client of American defense. It's becoming a partner of equals. And as it does, its global reputation is changing too. Once seen as restrained, Japan is now respected as reliable, a nation that balances might with morality, force with foresight. Its rise isn't loud, it's deliberate. While others boast or threaten, Japan builds, trains, and waits, its silence more intimidating than any speech. Because in the Indo-Pacific, restraint is power. And Japan has mastered it.